Hey everyone, welcome to the ProtoPie and LottieFiles webinar. I can see the first participants joining in. That's great. Do let us know where you're joining in from. And in the meantime, let's wait a few more minutes for others to join as well. All right, I can see some people from the UK, and I think for the folks in the US, it's either the end of day or afternoon, right? Hey Jeff, how you doing? Great. It's great to see all these people coming in. Texas, Toronto, Virginia, welcome. We're excited to do this webinar with all of you. All right, Nigeria, Belize. It's very international. Great. I think we can slowly get started. So everyone, welcome again to the very first ProtoPie and LottieFiles webinar. And let's cover briefly what we're going to do today here at this webinar. First, we have two amazing guest speakers from either side. We have Konok Lee from ProtoPie. She's the head of our customer learning team and product designer. And we have Dan from LottieFiles, product designer as well. And both of them, they're going to introduce ProtoPie and LottieFiles as well. Hey guys. And after that, there's going to be a demo on how you can actually get the most out of these two tools together. How can you get the most out of your interactive prototypes with Lottie Animations as well? And if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments. We do have a Q&A at the very end. So if you do have any questions, please do let us know. All right. I think most of the folks are here. I think it's time to really get started. So Konok, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you for the nice intro. Yeah, so it's nice to meet everyone. So my name is Konok. I am a designer at ProtoPie. I'm super excited today because I finally got a chance to introduce ProtoPie to everybody. So here at ProtoPie, we believe that prototyping can be for everyone. I mean, designers, non-designers, literally everyone. And we also have this very awesome slogan, which is prototyping as easy as pie. So it sounds powerful and easy to learn at the same time. So in ProtoPie, you can actually achieve very high fidelity prototypes without writing a single line of code. And why is that? Why our customers love ProtoPie? This is because in ProtoPie, we have this very intuitive and easy to learn conceptual model. So what exactly is this model? Let's just take a look at this illustration on the right-hand side. There is a lamp on the screen. There is a hand pulling the string of this lamp, and the lamp turns on. So this is an example of real-life interaction. So what we are doing here is we try to break down this interaction into three main parts. The first one is an object, which means something you're interacting with. The second one is a trigger, which means how you interact with this object. And lastly, the response. So response means how does this object react to your behavior? So basically, object, trigger, and response is the conceptual model of ProtoPie. So we can try to think this way for any interaction that we're going to animate. And you can easily realize every single interaction can be broken down into this model. So after understanding all this, there is nothing more you need to worry about. This is because in ProtoPie, we provide you with every single trigger and response you will need to use when you animate your designs. And also in ProtoPie, the capability of ProtoPie is also beyond the limit. It helps users to enable the native sensors of your smart devices such as sound, voice command, camera, native keyboard. You just name it, we all have it in ProtoPie. So what kind of a role that ProtoPie is playing throughout your entire design workflow? So in Studio, you prototype your design. This is where you bring magic to your designs and show your creativity. In Player, you can test out your demo on real devices, and also in Cloud, this is somewhere you can share, communicate, and even hand off your designs. So first, let's take a close look at the Studio. So there's one feature I especially want to highlight today is an interaction library. So I know everybody is talking about design system these days. ProtoPie is somewhere you can bring your design system to the next level because everything you're gonna make over here, they will be super interactive. And the next part I want to talk about ProtoPie Player. As I mentioned before, this is somewhere you test out your demos on real devices, such as smartphones, tablets, and even smartwatches. Yes, we also support smartwatches. And don't worry, ProtoPie Player is also available on iOS and Android. So no worry about the platforms you're using, we all get you covered. Yeah, so next part, let's move to ProtoPie Cloud. So this is on your browser. So you can share, command, and keep versions of your historical files over here. So it's super helpful for designers to keep everything in just one place and get everything organized. In ProtoPie Cloud, you also get access to team libraries and projects. So at ProtoPie, we do think collaboration as a very important part of your workflow. All right, so the last part of the cloud is this very awesome handle feature. It is magical. So after you have your prototypes in cloud, it generates a real code. So it's just like magic because for designers, you no longer need to write down those very complicated and time-consuming animation specs. For developers, I think seeing the real code is the most straightforward way to understand the designs. So it's a big win-win both for you as designers and also developers. Yeah, so enough talking about the features. So here is a super awesome demo that give you a more visualized idea what exactly you can achieve by using ProtoPie. Yeah, super cool. So the next part, what I'd like to discuss is that at ProtoPie, we are keeping exploring more possibilities to help our clients throughout different industries, such as IoT, smart appliance, automotive, and even more. So what I like to introduce over here is ProtoPie Industry Solution. So this one consists of two parts, ProtoPie itself, which means everything I mentioned before, and the ProtoPie Connect. So Connect is a very powerful extension to ProtoPie itself. So by combining these two, you can bring magic to your prototypes to make it more realistic, to make it more powerful. For example, by using ProtoPie Connect, you can easily achieve multi-screen interactions. You can integrate your prototype with other hardware, software, third-party APIs, and even to display real-time data in your prototypes. To give you a more specific examples, over here, these are mainly some examples for automotive industry, but ProtoPie Connect can be applied to every industry, so I'm sure that you can get something out of it. So here, for example, you can prototype for your car touchscreen clusters, like every screen in the car, and you can also integrate your steering wheel, to make some software hardware interactions, to use third-party customized hardware also. And most powerful, you can display your real-time car data just in your prototypes. All right, so next part, just to give you more visualized idea again. So I'd like to introduce our industry solution by this awesome demo video.
What's the weather like today?
Thursday in Seattle, it'll be partly cloudy, with a high of 66 and a low of 50.
Text my wife that I'm coming home.
So, that's a message to wife saying, I'm coming home. Wanna send it or change it?
Send it.
Got it. Sending your message saying, I'm coming home.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So that's nearly the end of my part. I hope I got more time to introduce more, but I think that's it. So now I'd like to give you a big surprise. So make sure to stay till the end of this webinar. We will send out a survey, and by filling out this survey, you will get the chance to get a 20% discount on ProtoPie yearly team plan. So please stay tuned. And nextly, I would like to introduce our friend Dan from LottieFiles. So he's gonna give us very interesting introduction to LottieFiles. And I think the most exciting part after that is he will teach us how we exactly build awesome prototypes in ProtoPie with LottieFiles. So let's give him a big welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Konak. You know, every time that I see your videos, I get super excited with all the things that ProtoPie can do. So let me talk a little bit about LottieFiles. What we are trying to do at LottieFiles is creating the future of motion design. And this is very impressive. So maybe you will see, you know, different animations every day in websites, ebooks, in stickers, you know, smartwatches, everywhere. And you don't realize that all of these animations, most of them, they are made with Lottie. So a lot of people ask, you know, like, what is Lottie? What is LottieFiles? And I will tell you, Lottie is two things. The first one is a library that, you know, it works in Android, iOS, you name it. But at the same time, right now, Lottie is a format. So yeah, sometimes there is a confusion, but this is what we got. And what is LottieFiles? LottieFiles is the largest, but really big, the big collection of Lottie animations in the world. But also at LottieFiles, we are creating all the different tools and integrations that can support these Lotties in every platform. So why Lottie? And this is something that a lot of people is asking, like, why should I use Lottie? Because this brings motion to your content. And this is important. You have like probably very static website, or you know, you want to add something to your app, boom. With Lottie, you just can do it. No problem with that. And you know why we need to add probably motion to our, you know, platforms. And the reason because of that is that increases the engagement. Not only increase, it boosts the user engagement. Also, it brings traffic and increase conversions. So this is really important because it has a retention on the user, and which brings, of course, you know, the increase of the revenue. And why LottieFiles? Right now, we are the largest animation library in the world. So if you come to LottieFiles, you will find any type, you know, of animation in different markets. And as you can see, right now we have maybe 140 plus companies that are using Lottie files in any type of market, automotive, gaming, travel, design, telecommunications, you name it. All the big brands are using Lottie, and it's impressive how they imagine, to put Lottie in different ways. And just to put, this is a very, very interesting note. Every 9 seconds, there is a Lottie that is being uploaded to our library. So you can see how the community is growing more and more, and how people is using Lotties everywhere. So yeah, this is really exciting. And you may be wondering, like, where else they use Lotties? Yeah, there's some walkthroughs, infographics, AR, VR, mixed reality, animated icons, presentations, everywhere. I mean, the sky is the limit. If you have like any idea, like probably, even in 3D, you are thinking to use Lottie, yes, it's possible. There are many, many different ways. So for example, if you would like to learn more, we have, LottieFiles.com showcase. And yeah, we spot many, many different apps and, also platforms where they are using Lottie. In this case, Headspace is a really good example because most of their animations are made in Lottie. And this other case, I really love it, from Vivid Books. They're using Lottie, but in AR. So this is very, very impressive. So, we talk with different designers, and there is a quote that I really love from Hannibal. So he says, like, Lottie has extended my career by 10 years. And I think for any product designer, this is the next natural step. If you are learning, UX, UI, product design, so what's next? Bring motion. Because you can have this control of exactly what you would like to add to the platform. Plus, you are the hub between the design team and the developer. So, learning motion, I think, is a must. Now, if you think, about the community, we have different people from many different companies that they're also using publicly and also privately Lottie. So if you want to work with Lottie and use it privately, yes, you can do it. We have our private library. And also, if you would like to use public and, share your different animations with the work, we got you. So, this is really crazy, but not only for designers or developers, but also for marketers. So a lot of people think like, hey, I'm not a designer, I cannot do that. Yes, you can use it. If you want to add a Lottie to your Google Slides, you got it. If you want to add Jira, you got it. Notion, you got it. So no problem with that. I mean, the sky is the limit because we prepare all the different integrations for all the different platforms. So, one more thing about Lottie. Why Lottie is really good? Because most of the time, a Lottie is, pixel perfect. You can see like it's vectorized. And why I say most of the time, because sometimes even people can add, 3D. So when you add 3D, it's like just, a sequence of PNG frames. But if you are using like any other tool, you will see like the vector there. And if you compare with like PNG, GIF, or for example, MP4, yeah, the difference is huge. Plus, you can have your Lottie that is responsive. And we have many open source tools that, for example, JLottie, it will help you to trigger your Lottie. So this is really crazy, I'm telling you. Now, talking about different tools that we also provide, we have Lottie Preview. So in Lottie Preview, in case, let's say like you don't have so much experience in After Effects, so you just can add your Lottie over there and you can change some stuff, probably, color, or, if you pick one asset, you just can change that a little bit. So every time we're trying to find, the best ways so we can edit the Lotties. And I know that this is something that everybody loves. And there's one more thing. I want to talk about Icon Scout. So Icon Scout right now, is by us, LottieFiles. But we have over there the biggest library and collection of illustrations and icons. But not only that, we also have like 3D assets, vector icons, and of course, Lottie animations. So if you are looking for premium Lottie animations, Icon Scout is the answer. Because over there, you will find like the After Effects file and many other things that you can even customize further your Lottie animations. And because of this, we also prepare a really nice video. So yeah, I think we can go with the video, and I really hope you like it. Yeah, that video was amazing. Kudos to my friend Mao, who is the motion designer at LottieFiles. So as Konak mentioned, please fulfill the survey because after that, we also have big surprises with Icon Scout. We have different discounts, so don't forget to do that. Now, let's pass to the most exciting part. So yeah, as everybody's expecting, the demo. And we prepare this demo video for you guys so we can keep everything under 35 minutes. And if you have any questions, please, stay until the end of the demo and we'll answer all the different things. So let's get ready for the video, guys. And I'm really happy again, that you can be here. So welcome to the demo part, and I think for many of us this is the most exciting part of any live stream. So let me show you what we'll learn today. We have our music app, and as you can see we have 3 different cards. And yes, all of them, they are Lottie Animations. So what the user will do, once they will tap on the card will expand, and as you can see we still have the Lottie animation. And we can even interact with the different buttons here. So for example, I will hit the play button, and you will see that the play will transform to a pause button, and we'll have a player coming up here. So in the background also you will hear like an MP3 file. Yeah, this is amazing. And something that I love in ProtoPie is that actually it gives you the option that you can stop the MP3 and continue in the same place where you stop it. So if I will play again, you will hear the sound.
Hi, Karam. Thanks for taking the time to speak
That's
with us
perfect,
today.
man. And you will see like once I will pause, the player over here, it will just hide. And the last thing we need to do is we'll just drag, pull down, and it will go back to the home screen. So this is very simple to do it, and especially the scroll, you will see that we can do it like in 3 minutes. So let's start with this. I will create a new file in ProtoPie, and yeah, this takes like a few seconds, and there you go. Now, I will go back to my Figma file, and as you can see, we are working with components, variants, you name it, and we have all these different assets. And believe it, ProtoPie is really good on this, and not only with Figma. If you're using any other design tool, Sketch or Adobe, you name it, ProtoPie works really, really good. So I will select all these frames, and then I will go to plugins. And if you don't have the plugin, you can download it from community, and I will choose ProtoPie. So it's saying, hey man, you want to export these 40 scenes, and you say yes. So you will see like the progress over here, and just to make sure that everything is working well, you can see also the progress down here. Something that I would like you can notice right now, is set up to the iPhone 11 Pro, which is 375 by 812. And yeah, the classic one. But yeah, most of us, we are working with the, probably for the iPhone 12 or 13. So we are working with 390 by 844. So in this case, ProtoPie also got you covered. So you just need to click over here and you can select the right size. And of course, if you're working with an Android desktop or custom, yeah, probably you're working with a handheld, you can put your own sizes. So let's go back to iOS and let's select the iPhone 12 and hit OK. Boom, there you go. So let me walk you through a little bit. So we have the home screen, and over here we have the 3 different, cards. And every time the user will tap on the card, it will go to the, let's say, like the expanded version of it. So we have the expanded version of the orange, which we call, orange, then purple and sky blue. And then over here, we just focus on this first, and then we'll come back to each one of these screens where we'll add some animations. So over here, we'll have the scroll, which is like the main thing that we will work, and we'll put this on top. And please don't feel overwhelmed. This is super easy and simple. And as proof of that, I would just lock all these different layers. And don't worry, we don't need this anymore. We won't use it, except for the middle covers, which I just leave it unlocked. And I would just open, the scroll here. As you can see, we have 3 different cards. So I would just organize the cards, and I will put card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. And then if I open one of the cards, you will see that we have this, the cover main orange, which this is inside a container, and a container is equal if we are coming for any design tool, like a group of layers. So inside this container, you will see like we have our covers, and this is the illustration, this actual illustration. And the same format is for each one of the cards. So why this is important? Because that is what we don't need. This is what we need to delete, but we need to replace it with our Lottie animation. So for that, of course, you guess it, we need our assets. So we are sharing this with you. So we have the 3 MP3s, we have all the Lottie animations, we have the Figma file, we have the Pi animation, the ProtoPie file, and of course,
what we'll do next is select the Lottie Animations and just drag and drop, boom, over here. There you go. Also, you can use, media to import anything you would like image, videos, you name it. But in this case, this is more simple, of course. Now, I would just organize them. So yeah, the orange one is in the right place, but yeah, probably the purple one not, and also the sky blue. So I would just put the sky blue, for instance, here. And you will see, like, once I approach to any of the Lottie animations, we see an L over here, which means that, hey, man, this is a Lottie. So, okay, all of them, they're right in place. And now what I would do is select all of them and, just check the constraints, because we'll be using the constraints of the cover main orange and, of course, also main purple and so on and so forth. And we don't want any confusion between them. So I would just take this Lottie and put it inside the cover main orange, and the same thing, following the same logic over here. Perfect. Now, what I will do is I will use this cover, and before I would delete it, I will use it to align it. So I would select my Lottie and I will hit align to the bottom and align to the right, and the same thing over here. So bottom, right, and again here, bottom, right. There you go. And then I will select the covers, all of them, and I will delete them. Boom. And, just to make this cooler, I will select all the Lottie animations and I will hit play automatically and then looping. There you go. If you want to check it out, nice. I think we take like 2 minutes, probably 3, but we have our animation, and look at this. We have the scrolling. Yeah, I know, this is super cool. So how ProtoPie works with scrolling? Yeah, you have a container. Again, this is a group, and inside the group you have these different elements, which are the cards, card 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, we're scrolling this. So if you come here, we have 2 different types of scrolling. One, the scroll, and the paging. So what's the difference? Scroll, it shows like an infinite scrolling, but paging is more like setting boundaries, some limits. So for that, I will select over here in page by custom, and I will type this value 368. And why 368? Because 360 is the size of the card, and 8, as the different of pixels that we have from the edge of the card to the edge of the screen. There you go. So if we test this, boom, awesome. So this is looking really cool, and probably we take like 3 minutes for this. So now we'll start adding some triggers for that. So the next thing we need to do, we need to understand exactly what we need. What the user will do is to tap on this card, and this will open, the Lottie animation, and this will scale up until here. So we select card, and over here, add a trigger, and we say, hey man, tap. So you tap on the card, and this will increase its size. Okay, good. Now we need to move the card, this one, to the point, 0.0, which is here on top. So over here, x0, y0. There you go. So you tap, boom. But also we need to scale it. So what do we need to scale? We need to scale, the card and also the cover main orange. So in this case, I will select scale, and I will say, hey, you can scale to this size. So 390 by 528. You may be wonder why these values. So if we come back here and I will select this image, you will see like 390 by 528. So this is where I took those values. And we need to do the same thing for the cover main orange. So I would just, you just can select copy and paste, Command V, Command C. And over here, select the cover main orange. So there you go. And if we test it, boom. You got it. Now, as you can see, we have some small issues over here. We have this text. We need to make it disappear. And also we have the radius here. It looks like a little bit weird. It needs to be flat. So for that, over here, I would just make sure to select the cover main orange, and I would change its radius to 0. There you go. And for the opacity, we need to just, get rid of the text here, text card 1. And I will add some opacity. So we are saying opacity 0. Boom. So if we test it, there you go. Also, we can use the opacity for this one. So I will select, the middle covers, and I will add some opacity. And I will put like opacity 0. So we test. There you go. We got this. So now, what else we are missing? If you come here, we have this list. So we are pretending to recreate this screen over here. So to finish the recreation, we need the list. So the only thing we need to do is to come this screen, copy, come here and paste it. And of course, we don't want to mess with the organization. So I would just make sure to put it, just above the middle covers. So as you can see over here, but just remember this value. So in y-axis, we are using like 544, and this will be our last value. But for the initial value, we just need to move this until here. So this will be our magic number because we'll use it for many assets. It will be 764. Okay, cool. Now we are saying, hey man, you just need to move the list where to 544. And of course here, we just can keep it in 0. We don't want to move the x-axis. So if we test it, there you go. Now it's looking really, really good. Cool. Now we just need to make probably the animation a little bit more subtle, as you see. So we select all of them except for the opacities. And now we can change the duration to 0.3. There you go. And then for the opacity, we change its duration to 0.1. There you go. And also we can add jump. Jump where we need to jump to this screen. So select jump here. And now let's look for that screen, which is the orange one. And yeah, and also we can add some delay, 0.3. And don't forget to check this, reset the selected scene. So every time that we will play, go back and forward. So this will help us to reset, to the initial value. So this is really, really important. So we come here, there you go. So we have all these animations, over here in the home screen. You will come back for the rest of the cards, but for instance, let's move to the orange one. Okay, here, very similar stuff. We have the scroll here, we have our card, and we have our cover main orange. So for that, again, come here to our files, and I would just drag and drop it, and I would just position my Lottie animation over here. And as you can see, we just put it down here, and we can delete the cover. And over here, just make sure to uncheck the constraints, but make sure to put play automatically and looping. So if we check this, boom, we have it. This is so cool, right? So easy, so fast. So now we have this. This needs to work as a mask. So for that, make sure to hit over here, clip sublayers. There you go. So yeah, this is basically it. Nothing else. Now we need to work with some triggers. So for that, just make sure to select scroll and over here, add a trigger. So what exactly we want? When the user will pull down, that's when, it will transition to the previous screen, to the home screen. So let's select pull, and over here say like pull down distance, we can give it 1. And this is so crazy that ProtoPie has, like, it has with resistance. So to make it more realistic, let's add this and play. This is cool. This is cool. This is really cool. We just reset it. This is really cool. So, okay, we have this, but also we want to scale this down. But exactly what? We need to scale down the cover main image, so which is the cover main orange over here. So we say like, hey man, I need you can scale it down. So the value will be 360 by 360 because I told you this is the value of the cards, of the initial cards. And also, we want that this can move a little bit as the previous screen. So we'll select move, and over here we'll type 15, and also the other value is 145. There you go. So if we just hit this, nice. Yeah, it's taking shape. As you can see, we still need to play with the radius. We need to fix that, and we need to make disappear all this other stuff. So over here, I would just look for radius, and I would say like, hey, cover main orange, set it to 16, because this is the border radius we are using. And also we can add, some opacity to the description button. So we come here and we say, hey, just give some opacity over here to 0. There you go. And also to the list. So we have the list over here. So we can also add an opacity. And we say like, go to 0. There you go. Cool. So if we test it, boom. Yeah, of course we have this over here. So for instance, the only thing I will do is just to hide it. For instance, we'll just come back to this one. But what we are missing here, if you notice, is the middle covers that we have it over here. So for that, I will select these ones. I'll just hit Command C, and over here, Command V, paste it. I'll put it in the bottom. So yeah, we have the middle covers here, and I want you can look to this value. So we have 15 and also 607. So this is really, really important because we'll come back to this one. So now we need to add, some move here for the middle covers, but we'll just put this down here. So as I told you, this is our magic value, 764, and we'll add a move. So where, to 15, of course, and over here we'll put 607. There you go. So once we'll pull down, boom, it appears over here. Yeah, this is really, really cool. Now, we're really, really close. So we need to add a jump. Jump where? To the home screen. There you go. So let's test it. There you go. But as you can see, again, the animations look a little bit weird. So we select all of them except for opacity, and we'll change to 0.3. And for opacity, we'll change this to 0.1. And we can also add, some delay here, 0.3. And also don't forget to check the reset the select scene. So now if we test it, nice. Now it's working really, really good. Now, what else we are missing in this scene? We need to play with the play button. So as you can see over here, I'll select this. And over here, we'll also use, what we have is the player orange, and the player will come over here. So we have, I'll just close this. We have the play button, then we have the pause button, which is underneath, and then we have player orange. So what we want is like, once we'll tap the play button, and that's why we need to add a trigger, what we need to do, this player orange, they will appear. So, I would just make sure to put this just over here under lists. Yeah. And, I would just make a change in the position. So I would just put it here, and I would just move it underneath. Just make sure and look to this value, 699. And I would just put it over here to our magic number, 764. And what we'll say is like, hey, once I will tap the play button, we want that the player orange, can appear. So it will move to 699. There you go. And again, here's 0. So we hit play. Nice. This is perfect. So now the next thing we need to do is to select the play button and the place button. So I would select play and pause button, and we need to change the origin of them. Yeah, because we'll create like small scale animation and we don't want to mess with it. So make sure to select the middle. And the next thing we will do is, we need to, put in opacity the pause button. So over here, I will just select this one and I will put, the initial opacity to 0. And then I will select the play button. And over here, I would just tap and I will say scale. Scale down just a little bit, to make the animation a little bit subtle, to 94. But I'm forgetting one stuff. You need to choose factor so you can scale by percentage. So in this case, again, 95 and again, 95. There you go. So we test it. Beautiful. But at the same time, once we hit play, so it will scale down, and we want this can change a little bit. So we'll have the opacity of the bottom, of the pause button, to appear to 100. So I will select this and I will put opacity to 100. So that's how we will change to the pause button. And at the same time, the opacity of the play button will go to 0. So let me put it here, just come here and 0. So if we test this, nice, this is looking really, really good. And of course, the last thing we need to add here, we need to add our first audio. So for that, just come here and I'll select this one, drag and drop. Yeah, we can put it over here. Don't worry, this won't show up in your UI. And we hit like, hey man, I just want to playback this, playback what, the LottieFiles here, and make sure that it's on play. So once we hit play, cool, it's working. So now we need to do the same steps, but for the pause button. And this will be super simple. But before that, I will select all of them except for the opacity. And over here, we can change, the duration to 0.3, the same way that we are doing for the rest of them. And for this to 0.1, that's perfect. And now, just copy and paste. And the only thing we need to change over here is like, hey, we don't want the play button. In this case, we want the pause button. And what here, it needs to move. Yeah, it needs to move the player orange. So in this case, yeah, it will move to 764. Boom, there you go. And yeah, in a scale, if we go back, we don't need for the play button, we need this for the pause button. In opacity, we need to change this from pause to play and vice versa over here, from pause to play. There you go. And over here, we need to select pause. Cool. So if we test it, now it's working. This is really good. Perfect. Now we finish this. So we have our home screen and we have all the flow for the orange screen. So this is really great. And what we need to do now, over here, we need to do the same steps, but now, for the different cards. So for example, going back here, we just copy this and I will make 2 copies. So the first one will be, in this case, for the card 2. So we just need to replace this. And of course, instead of, card 1, we just can look for card 2. There you go. Scale here, we have scale card 1. So the scale, just again, change for card 2. Again here, instead of cover main orange, you just can look cover main purple. The radius, the same thing. Cover main purple. The opacity over here, instead of text card 1, we need to search for text card 2. And middle covers, no problem with that. Move, also no problem with that. And then jump, yeah, I will come back to this, And for this one, the same. So instead of card 1, we have card 3. And we have move, we have card. I'm just checking all of them. So maybe we just can simplify it here. Looking for card 3. There you go. And scale and radius. Okay, I think we cannot simplify this one. So over here, we need to look for cover main sky blue. And this one, cover main sky blue. There you go. And for opacity here, we need to change for text card 3. And over here, middle covers, move, and jump. Okay, perfect. So we don't have anything else that we need to worry. There is one small stuff that I would like you can check. So look at this. Okay, this is perfect, no problem with that. But when we come here, you will see that it goes nuts a little bit. So the reason because of that is this. So, I will select this jump from the second card and I will just turn it off. And I want you can see this. So in the second card, there you go. So this is looking really, really odd. And the reason because of that is that we are saying, hey man, I want you can move to 0, 0. And this is not right. So we need to change on the x-axis to 368. So if we test this, there you go. Now it's working. The same here, the same thing for this one. So, I will just reset this. And if we go to the third card, play, boom, it goes crazy. So the only thing we need to do here is, hey man, 368, but this time by 2. Cool. So there you go. So now if we test it, boom, we have it. But of course we have this other problem. And the reason of this is because, let me show you here. So right now, I will just turn on this. So right now we have this card that is, on top of the other cards, as you can see here. So I will just show you very, very quick. So I will just move this here and we have this small glitch. To fix this and why this is happening, is because also we need to add, we need to reorder the cards. So what we'll do is here, I will select like reorder and I will select, in this case, card 1. So we want that card 1, can be behind, in this case, backward to card 2. And the same thing over here. So over here, we'll add a reorder. And we'll add a reorder, in this case for card 2. There you go, and we can put it over here. So we say that it can go in the background. And yeah, then if we test it, cool. Now, the only thing we need to do here, if you see here, jump where? It needs to jump to the purple one, and then it needs to jump to the sky blue one. Okay, perfect. So now if we test it, there you go. Test this here, there you go, and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. Now we have all this working. So this is perfect. And we just need to focus on, these other screens. So these are very, very, very simple. As you see here, we just can, reuse all the different triggers that we have here. And of course, maybe most of you were thinking why we don't do that. And yes, it's possible, we can do it, and I will show you how. So I will select this one, just select this trigger and put it over here. Boom, there you go. But of course here in the scroll, you need to add the Lottie animation. So for that, I will just bring back again my Lotties. So I will bring over here the purple one. I'll put it here. And the same thing I will do just for here. Just let's take advantage that we have everything over here. So again, so we have the sky blue. I'll put it here. There you go. And I will just make the two different screens in parallel. So okay, we have sky blue here, and just put it here. We don't need the covers, but over here we need the constraints here. And also make sure to have the core main sky blue, and check the clip sublayer so we can have the mask. And the same thing for this one. So we just put, cover main purple. Let's delete this one, and over here, like plain automatically looping. There you go. And for this one, clip sublayers. And yes, we just can come here and also, like play automatically and looping. Nice. Cool. Now that we have over here, our trigger, so we can select. So actually what we are trying to let's say like, to work with is card purple. So I will select card purple. So as you can see, boom, we got it. And we are saying like, hey, card purple. And the next thing we need to do is to change this. So we are saying like, you need to scale down. What exactly you need to scale down? So in card purple, we need to scale down, the cover main purple. So over here, let's just go and we say like, hey, cover main purple, scale down. The same thing for this one, cover main purple, you need to move a little bit. And then, for radius, we also, let's check it out. Yeah, of course, right now it's taking us to the home screen. But in radius, also, you need to play with the cover main purple. There you go. Then, for opacity, we need to put the opacity to the description button, so over here. And then, the other opacity, we need to add it to the list. So let's go and let's look for the list. There you go. And then move the middle covers. So right now we don't have the middle covers. This is very easy to do. Just copy and paste over here. We just need to put it on the bottom. And let's do the same thing for this one, just put it in the bottom. I'll just come back to this one, but just do not forget. So we have in the bottom, and over here, we just need to select the middle covers. There you go. So yeah, we have all these, and the next thing is like jump to home. But yeah, I will come back to this one. But for instance, just make sure that this is working. So we have the pull. There you go. There you go. It's almost there. So, I would just show you exactly how we can fix the thing in the home screen. So for this, it's very simple. I would just make 2 new copies. So we will have a home screen for each one of the, let's say like the big screens. So the first one will be for the orange, the second one for the purple, the third one for the sky blue. And to make it super easy for these ones, so select the second home screen, go to scroll. And as you can see, I would just come here to the bottom, and in scroll, this is super amazing. You just need to tap this value, 368. And again, why 368? Because it's 360 plus the 8 pixels. There you go. So we have the second home screen. And for this home screen, again, let's go to scroll. And yeah, you guess it, 368 by 2. Enter, and we have this other third home screen. So if we come back here to purple, I will say, hey man, you need to jump not to this home, but to this home too. And for sky blue, the same. So I would just, just copy here the triggers. Yeah, I will just come back to this one also to fix it, but I will put just home 3. So, okay, if we want to test it, there you go. Now it's working. Yeah, as simple as that. Yeah, this is really, really beautiful. So now, I want you can see something else. We need to add the play and pause buttons. So for that, let me check over here. I will just come to the orange one and I will select play and pause. I will just copy them. I will come back here, and yeah, I can just come until the play and pause, and over here, this is cool. Press Command Shift V, boom. You not only copy the assets, but you also copy all the triggers. So this is mind-blowing. So of course we don't need this play and pause anymore. We delete them, and we just make sure here is the pause button. So we need the play on top. Just put it there, and now we have move. So you're saying like, okay, move what? So we need to move the player purple, which is this one over here. So just come here and let's select player purple and play back what? So just to make sure that everything's in the right place. So you have play button 2, play opacity. So yeah, all this is right. And over here, we just need to add like our other, we need to add. So over here, we need to add our assets. So in this case, I will add the second one. So I will just drag and drop this one, and I can put it here on the corner, just around there. And I will say like, hey man, you need to play this one. Okay, I'll select this, boom, there you go. And the same thing for this, you need to pause this one. So make sure that it's in pause. And for move, yeah, of course, we need to check for the player purple. And there you go. So as you can see right now, let's test this one, and I will hit play. Yeah, but this one still on the top. This is funny.
Today I'm here with
So to fix this, the only thing you need to do is go to player purple and just put it, underneath the tab bar. That's the only thing you need. So we hit play. There you go, and put this down. Boom, you got it. And for this screen, it's practically the same. So I will go to this other screen, and again, you have the pull what, and we say like card sky blue. There you go. And then we need to change the scale. So the scale to what? You may be wondering. So in this case, we need to change the scale to the cover main purple and also the move. So we can select both of them and look for cover main sky blue. And also for the radius also cover main sky blue. There you go. And then for opacity, so opacity, we need to change the description. And then for list, we just need to go to list. Nice. Then for move, actually here we need to move the middle covers, which is this one. So yeah, that's really good. So we just look for middle covers. And then jump home 3. So if we test this one, nice. This is working really good. Now we need to add, the bottom. So again, from here, just select both of them, Command C, come here, Command Shift B, and I would just, select this play bottom. So I was just looking for this one. Okay, I know what happened. So I would just hide these two, and I would just look for this one. There you go. I would just place this over here. There you go, and I will select both of them. And now I will unhide them. And over here, this is super simple. I would say like, hey, I need to move what? The player that we have over here. So the player sky blue, I would just put it underneath the tab bar. There you go. And we say like, hey, move the player. Yeah, but before, I was forgetting this. This is the pause button, so the play button needs to go on the top. So now I will select player sky blue, and also for this one, player sky blue. And now we need to add the last MP3. So we just drag and drop it. Just can put it over here. And for playback, I will select this MP3 and this other MP3. There you go. And if we hit play and pause, yeah, it's working. So yeah, this is the end of the exercise. I am really, really happy that you stay with me this time. Yeah, no further to lose. Let's go to the Q&A. And yeah, I will see you there, guys. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that was really, really crazy. But yeah, I really hope you like it, guys. So yeah, I would just, call my friends Fredo, Konok, and I really hope you like it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Konok and Dan, for your incredible introductions, as well as the extensive and very helpful demo. I believe everyone knows now what both ProtoPie and LottieFiles can do and how you can actually use them together to get the most out of your interactive prototypes with animations. Yeah, without further ado, let's start with the Q&A. I know there are a bunch of questions already, so let's pull up the first one. All right, I want to create a motion micro interaction library in ProtoPie. Do you have any suggestions of how I can do that? Konok, I think this is the ideal question for you.
Yeah, so I don't want to say suggestions because making libraries in ProtoPie is so simple and intuitive. So in terms of how to do it, you can just go ahead and create your interactions in the main scene, and after you're done with it, convert the whole thing into a component. Or either you can do is you just create a new component, and then you can create everything from scratch over there. Just some tips, or I think best practice is for any libraries is when you do this, I think to keep everything organized and wisely named and documented is a good way. So when you go along the road, I think dealing with components in ProtoPie, you might want to also grab some knowledge about the send and receive features in ProtoPie. So don't worry about that because we already have so many tutorials around components, either on our website and also on our YouTube channel. You can always learn from time to time, and also ask us anything when you have any difficulties. Yeah.
Yeah, and to elaborate on that, the components that Konok mentioned, you can put those in an interaction library, meaning that you can reuse these in every other prototype that you're making. So you don't have to start from scratch. You make this library and yeah, keep reusing it, keep iterating on it in a way that you can actually save time. All right, let's go to the next question. Is there a way to access properties inside a Lottie file via the get key path command from the API to control more than just the playback, but be able to change colors and hide show layers? From Russell. This is the right question for you, Dan.
Yeah, I'm not sure with the keypad. I mean, to be honest, no, I didn't test it. But yes, there is some crazy way. So I'm just shared this a little bit. There is some companies that they are using actually customizing some of the lotties according, for example, with the let's say from where you are entering, for the IP address. So let's say if you have certain IP address, your lottie will be green. If you have another certain IP address, it will be like red. And also I saw, for example, in Google, they were using for some of the lottie files, some pictures, and they were able to change, this picture. So they're mixing data also with the lottie. So I think, the possibilities are endless. But this is really good because probably we can also take care about creating some tutorials using the get keypad. A really good idea. But yeah, it's possible.
All right, a question from Kevin about handoff. What does ProtoPie offer to prevent everything animation related ending up in custom code instead of native supported components? Kono, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so basically the interaction recipe or the handoff feature of ProtoPie, it's not like that you can use this the code for implementation, but more like a reference for developers to understand the designer's interaction. So basically, it's not converted to the real code for iOS or Android, but we provide interaction values for you to refer to. Yeah, Fredo, do you have any more you want to add on to this question?
Yeah, I think the interesting part is the reason is that we don't export code as a deliverable is that often the code is unusable for engineers as they would have to use their own frameworks, their own code in the end to actually implement it. So it was, from our research, a lot more useful to actually show and deliver all the interaction values they would need to implement your interactions in a right way that actually fits the way they build their product. So I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, just maybe something else to add. I want, especially coming from like a freelance work, I will tell you guys, like when you show a prototype, is amazing. So they actually, the developers and the client, they can understand well. And as the guys from IDEO, they mentioned like if a picture is worth like 1,000 words, a prototype is worth like 1,000 minutes. So yeah, go crazy with prototype.
Definitely. All right. Next question. From Kevin, are there any good tools out there to make a Lottie file from scratch without After Effects or body moving?
So yeah, probably not so sophisticated tools. We have, for example, SVG that you can create a Lottie like in 2 seconds. But I will tell you, like, yeah, sometimes After Effects is a little bit overwhelming, but it's really worth to test. And also, like, we were trying like our After Effects plugin, because sometimes people get confused. They think like body moving is part of LottieFiles, but it's not. We have like our After Effects plugin, and this makes the workflow so easy because you just can, after you finish your animation, upload it to the library. So it's super simple. You don't need to download it and add it again. Just you finish, click upload, you got it, and you can use it like in any design tool.
All right, amazing. All right, let's pull up the next question. All right, question from Cargo. Can Lottie now support bitmap? One of the Lotties he's using on the demo that you were using on the demo, Dan, was not produced as a vector. The one called Sky Blue, is that a picture?
Yeah, so the one is like a 3D element that is not like vectorized. And yes, the answer will be yes. And I will tell you, like, it is supported with almost most of the different frameworks. For example, I test these 3 animations, especially also with the gradients. And if you see in Safari, it has a little bit of glitch. But I'm telling you, like in Firefox and Chrome, is working perfect, and of course in ProtoPie is flawless. So yes, yeah, we can support that, but you need to be careful and make sure to test in every platform.
Great. I hope that answers your question, Cargo. All right, let's pull up the next question. All right, is there a way to have the native iPhone keyboard already up and not pop up from Victor? Konok, this is a question for you, I think.
Yes, so definitely there is a way, because in ProtoPie we have this trigger called start. So I think the most usage of start is that it can help you to make the initial state of your screen. So by using this trigger start and to pop up this keyboard, so you can already have it up when you load the screen. So I think you can easily achieve that in ProtoPie.
All right. Thank you, Konok. Let's do one more question before we wrap up. So let's pull up the last question. All right, a question from Patrick Film. Can you create an interactive slider in ProtoPie that defines what keyframe of the Lottie file is displayed? Konok, do you want to take this one?
Yes, definitely, it's achievable in ProtoPie. In ProtoPie, we have this response called playback, so which help you to find a specific time of your media files, like Lottie files, like music, or video, or are visible. So in that case, if you want to use a slider to find the specific keyframe of the Lottie file. So it's not like the keyframe in ProtoPie, but you can do that by seek a specific time in this media file. So you use different way, but the effect is similar.
Great. I think, Maya, this also answers your question about jumping to a specific frame in a Lottie file. All right. Let's see. All right. So I think there's one more question. So let's take that one. A question from Air Apps. We're looking for a streamlined way to create animated UI screens for promos and creatives. Any suggestions for taking animated prototypes from ProtoPie to After Effects to add to video projects? Dan, maybe you want to take this one?
Yeah, what I would say, in ProtoPie, there's an option that you can record your prototypes. So what I will do is record. So first, I will create like the prototype in ProtoPie, and I will make sure that it's working fine. I will record it in MP3, and then I will bring that to After Effects. And over there, I can add like 3D, some stuff like that. So some of the times I use that. Yeah, that's some of the secrets.
All right. Yeah. So I think that's the end of the Q&A. Dan, Konok, I'd like to thank you for your parts as well as your contribution in this Q&A. So thank you again. All right. So as mentioned earlier in the webinar, we do have a survey right here. And we would love to collect your feedback on this webinar. So either click on the link or scan the QR code and let us know your feedback. Ideally, right away. So make sure to do it, please. Other than that, check out our socials to stay up to date on the latest. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can find us both, LottieFiles and ProtoPie. If you haven't used any of our tools, check them out. LottieFiles, as mentioned before, the biggest animation library there is. You can find any Lottie animations that you would need in your projects and use them for free. And ProtoPie, we have a 30-day free trial. So if you haven't tried out interactive prototyping yet, definitely check out ProtoPie on our website, protopie.io. And yeah, we'd love to thank you for joining this webinar. It's great to have you all here and do this webinar together with all of you. And hopefully we'll see you at one of our next events. And thank you again for joining, and have a nice rest of your day.